Yeah. Wait, which version are we playing? Is this 3 or 4?
Fourth.
Okay, good, yeah, because I played 4th.
Okay, cool. So I think you're the only person who actually knows who has
Yay!
played before. So yeah,
Yeah, I've never played GURPS before.
we Harley also says that she's played GURPS before. So there you go. We got 2 people. So we had like a test session today for the people who didn't play it, and the rest of the session we would spend on deciding the setting. I have made a number of settings that, like a slideshow presentation, if it's a scrapbook of settings.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you guys, whichever one you want first, the test session has already pre-made characters. It's just gonna be an hour or 2 worth of content. So
What are those characters exactly?
they are generally classical fantasy characters, except for one who I've named Steve, who is just a peasant with really high luck.
I know there's a rogue and...
Okay, so there is a rogue, there is a fighter, there is a swashbuckler type, there is a pyromancer, there is a cleric medic, there is also an archer slash commander who also has most of the leadership slash tactics. There's
yeah.
Pyromancer.
There is a character who is designed around talking. There is like a face man. There is the thief. There is also, I think that's it.
I'll take the Pyromancer if anyone's okay with that.
I was thinking of just rolling for it. So
yeah, okay.
But if you guys want a specific one, yeah.
I'm sorry, I missed the first part of that. What are we doing?
Okay, so there will be like first we gotta choose which setting we will play. Then we'll do like a test session, which will be just classical fantasy stuff. Well, we won't choose the setting first. If you guys don't want to, you can choose whether to do the test run first or the other stuff first. And the test run will be mostly GURPS light. Like we won't, while you have weapon skills and stuff, mostly we'll just be dealing the thrust and swing damage without any modifiers, just so we don't keep it simple for the first session. And then once we actually start playing for real, we'll reuse the more complex stuff like retreating and
aiming and all that.
How long will this session be?
As like an hour or 2, I think.
Okay.
That's a good time.
Like it depends. It depends on how much you guys screw around, or how fast you die.
I mean, I could play longer if we're like creating characters or something like that after the session.
I think we'll be creating characters next time, since I'm gonna be trying to make templates for you guys depending on the setting. Like I might try to. Some settings will use templates. Some use templates from books, such as the Dungeon Fantasy setting. Some just don't use templates. They're just pretty much, you just get guidelines.
Alright, that works.
So
Yeah. Okay.
So what do you guys want to do? The test or?
We could do the test first.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
fine with
Okay. So everyone roll. Firstly, can you guys see all the characters? Like.
that. No, I can't see anything.
The map is black for me.
Where are we?
No, not the map. The character tab.
No, I can't see any characters.
In
Like-
the handouts or...
Yeah, in the second tab on the right
No, I can't see anything.
or third. Really?
Okay, you have to set it so that
I set it so that you can edit it. I thought that if I set it that way, you would also be able to see it.
No, you have to set it so that's in our
If you've
journals.
got fog of war going on or anything like that, we can't see it unless we're GMs.
Oh, I can see Drew, Fruit, us.
These are just the random name generator. So yeah,
Oh.
it's not an actual real name except for Steve. You can rename the character however you want,
Great.
except for Steve.
Okay. How do you see classes or powers? Or
They don't
whatever?
have classes in here.
Yes, it's
Traits.
they don't actually believe in the Marxist utopia.
I'm guessing this is Drew through the Pyromancer because he has Matter V3.
Yes,
Okay.
and like you do have the character. What's it called? The main book. I think you all have it, right?
Yeah, I have it.
I have all of the GURPS books.
Okay. Well, if you are a pyromancer, I think in the magic chapter there should be all of the spells. If there aren't, I might have to send you.
Oops. Yes. Okay, I'll check it out. Magic.
Anyway, so do you guys want to roll, or do you guys want to just pick and choose whichever one you
I'm
want?
gonna roll. What'd I roll?
Can I choose just the Pyromancer because I don't really want to roll for it?
Okay, then I guess we skip the pyromancer and just do a d7 for rolling.
Oh, neat. I get the first guy.
Yeah.
I'm guessing I just get fire spells, right?
Yes, there are only fire spells because I'm not very creative.
Fire spells.
Okay, I think you got the. Yeah, you got the thief.
How do spells work?
Okay, so I will start explaining the general rules regarding the character. So I'll start with, can everyone open Steve's sheet, please?
Yeah, I have mine open on my character. Yeah.
Okay, so you guys can see, like on the left, there should be attributes. The attributes box. You can see strength, dexterity, IQ, health. These are the main attributes. Strength is used to calculate the damage you do. It's also used to calculate your health and just general strength stuff, such as lifting stuff or, just it's pretty much strength attribute from D&D. Then there is the dexterity. This is used to calculate your skills, your physical skills. So for example, if you have like a sword skill or something, it's calculated based on your dexterity and the amount of time you've spent building that skill. Then we have IQ. IQ is used for the mental skills. So for example, if you are a doctor, your medicine diagnosis skill, for example, is based off your IQ skill and the amount of time that you spend perfecting that skill. Amount of time perfecting skills is calculated using points. So for example, if you have 1 point in, say, diagnosis, it means you've spent, I can't remember exactly, like 100 hours? Was it 100 hours? Something like that. And that means you have like the base minimum possible. Just a second.
Oh boy. I'm gonna apologize in advance. My dogs can be rather noisy.
That's alright.
Okay, sorry, wrong. I got a call. Was the wrong number. So where was I?
You're talking about IQ points.
Yes.
Right. So IQ affects the mental skills, and 1 point is equal to 1 character point is equal to 100 hours spent improving something. An IQ, the IQ and dexterity, is harder to improve than strength, which is why strength requires 10 points, and that means around 1,000 hours to improve by 1 point, while dexterity and IQ requires 20 points, that is 2,000 hours. Am I making any sense here so far?
Yes. I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Health is is pretty much constitution, except it does not affect the amount of health you have. That is the strength's job in this game. But other than that, rolling for fortitude checks, these are called health checks in this game. Okay. And the way you make a roll is you roll 3d6, and if the number that comes up, the sum of the 3 dice, is lower or equal to the number that you have, then you succeed. If it's higher, then you failed. So for example, say you are a fighter and you're trying to do a strength-based activity, such as say lifting a dumbbell over your head. You roll 3d6 and he rolled a 13 and his strength is 10, which means that he has failed to lift the dumbbell over his head. And that's generally how most of the game works. Skills are a lot like attributes, only more specialized. So for example, cooking is IQ but specialized around cooking activities. Because of that, you need less points to increase them compared to general IQ. So for example, if you pay 1 point in cooking, then you will have it equal to IQ minus 1. So in this case, in this character's case, who has 11 IQ, if you pay 1 point in cooking, his cooking would be equal to 10. Make sense so far?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then say you spend more time improving that skill and you add another point, you have 2 points, and then it raises by 1 point. And then you have to pay 2 points after you have paid 1 point. So it's kind of like 1, 2, and then 4, and then 8 being the ladder. So
it doubles all the
yes,
time?
no, not all the time. Once you've reached 8, you only need to pay 4 all the time.
Okay.
But until then, yes, it doubles the price of the skills. Okay, then you have traits. Traits are pretty much like feats/class features. So for example, if you're a wizard, your ability to cast spells, named Major in the Pyromancer's case, or Power Investiture in the case of Clerics, is noted in your Traits tab, usually in the advantages. This character, Steve, has Extraordinary Luck, which is an advantage that gives you the ability to re-roll once every half an hour a roll you've already made. And he has Serendipity, which allows him the ability to just proclaim once a session that something is happening. So for example, say he has been imprisoned. He can use Serendipity and say, okay, the guard captain happens to be my uncle. And this will generally be favorable towards the character. It can also be unfavorable, but the player usually dictates what the exact effect is. So, okay, then we have disadvantages. Disadvantages are usually used to define your character as a person. So, for example, Steve is clueless because he's just a peasant and does not have much idea. Does not have much of an idea about the world outside his farm. He also has pacifism, reluctant killer, because he his mother has told him not to be a mean person, so he has taken that advice to heart and does not like killing people. If the player tries to kill somebody, Steve would need to make a will save or will check in this case in order to succeed in killing. Then we have gullibility, which is exactly what it sounds like. Steve has a penalty to believing stuff and needs to roll every time something completely obviously fake is told to him. So, for example, if somebody says that the moon has been gone, he would need to make I think an IQ roll. Yeah, I think he needs to make an IQ roll, and if he fails, he will believe.
So it's like if I have cowardice or greed.
Yes, if you have cowardice,
I need to, every time it's like an unfavorable situation, I need to roll to not run away.
Yes.
yes,
Okay.
pretty much. Well, obviously there are like levels, so you don't really have to always run away, especially since but you know, if the fight is going against you and it would require you being at higher risk than normally, yes, then you would have to roll.
That's what I mean by unfavorable.
Yes, unfavorable.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that you still can't help your buddies, but it means that you will be more concerned with your own,
Yes, okay.
with yourself.
That only makes sense, but yeah.
Okay. So, alright, these skills I have not... Okay, so the way combat works is usually in normal RPGs you just roll against the defense. In GURPS you roll twice. Once for offense and once the defender has to roll for defense. So for example, say Steve is trying to fight a clone that looks exactly like Steve. He uses his brawling skill to attack. Okay. He rolls against his brawling, which is 11, and he rolled a 9. This is a success. So, other Steve has first Steve trying to attack him, so he tries to dodge. He can either... in general, you have 3 options of defense. Dodge, parry, and block. Block is used with shield, so is generally not used unless you specifically have a shield. So, he can only use dodge and parry in this case. Since his parry is lower than his dodge, he will use his dodge, which is 11. And so he rolls his dodge, and he has succeeded in dodging the first Steve's attack. Okay, any questions so far?
You rolled the same thing for them both. Does that mean the defendant
no.
always wins?
No, it's... yes, if they both succeed, the defender wins.
Okay.
So what? They just have to beat their ability score in that skill or defense.
They need to roll
Okay,
lower,
so
lower than
to
ability.
attack, you roll against your skill. To defend, there should be like in the combat tab. If you see dodge and retreat,
Yes.
these are your defenses. There's also a parry defense, which we'll not be using right now because, yeah, trying to keep things simple for the first session, but later we will be using it.
Is it 4d6?
3d6. 3.
Oh, okay. 3d6. Yep, okay.
Which is why all attributes begin from 10, because that is the average of a 3d6. Well, it's 10.5, but you know.
Yeah.
So, yes.
So 10 should be the average of the skill.
No, actually. The average of the skill is something like your attribute minus 4. The average of a trained skill, so like an amateur who has spent some time looking over some of the books regarding the skill at hand, would have an average of 10.
Okay.
In general, like completely uninitiated have... like if you don't have the skill on your sheet, it's assumed to be equal to your attribute minus 4, minus the difficulty or something like that. So if you don't have, say, diagnosis, but you have 16 IQ, your diagnosis would be -4, 16 -4, and then -2 because diagnosis is itself a pretty hard skill.
Okay.
So it would just be a 10.
I got that. Yeah.
And then you'd have to get lower than a 10 in order to
Yes.
succeed.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Got it.
Okay, so we got that. What next? What's next? Okay, I think we pretty much covered everything. There are derived attributes. So, for example, perception is based off IQ. So, if you have an IQ of 13, you will have a perception of 13, except when you specifically modify it by taking or like you can deduct or increase it in God damn it, what's relative to your IQ. That's the word I'm looking for. So relative to IQ, you can make it either higher or lower by paying and or selling, I guess, 5 points. So if you have one higher perception than IQ, you would have to pay 5 points. This is in contrast to the 20 points of IQ that the IQ point costs. So if you're just a spotter, for example, you wouldn't want to raise your IQ just to raise your spotting skills. You would just raise your perception.
And you do that by paying IQ.
No, by paying from like character points. Can you see the one on the thing on the left, point summary?
Or it's on the far right.
Oh,
Yeah,
Point
there's
summary,
abilities
like,
and
attributes 35.
yeah. That is 150 is the total of points that you get. Usually, sometimes
to begin with. I
most
get
of the settings have varying.
So you begin with 150 to
Yeah.
Okay.
And IQ and dexterity, as I've said, cost 20, and perception in this case costs 5. Will also cost 5 per point. Though, as I've said, perception and will are by default equal to your IQ. What next? You can also increase your vision, hearing, smell, and touch individually if you want to. This usually costs 2 points, something like that. And
These character points, or yeah, those are the points you use to buy what's it called, traits.
yes, everything is bought with character traits. Disadvantages. The reason you take disadvantages is because they give you points. They give you extra points to stuff. So you mostly get rewarded for role-playing by getting stronger, right? So, for example, if you have a character who is really strong but has like a debilitating Oedipus complex, so he keeps trying to have sex with his mother, that would be worth a lot of points. You probably shouldn't make that kind of character, but you know.
Yeah, I got it. I was planning on making a greedy kleptomaniac who could walk through walls, but I'm doubting it now.
You could. I mean, there is a thing for that.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what I just looked through the.
It just takes like
disadvantage.
a lot of points. It's
Yeah,
like
he would have
20,
some
isn't it?
low stats.
I'm not too sure, like...
It's 100 to be able to walk through walls.
Huh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of points.
Yeah, so in general, winning at GURPS is really easy. You just pick unkillable, but that generally does not make fun characters. Like, just a heads up. It's kind of hard to min-max in this game.
I was actually also thinking of the possess thing, where you can like swap bodies with random people.
Like these kind of abilities that cost a lot are usually with limitations. So if you add the limitation, like I can only possess people of a certain race, like demons, for example. You're a demon, you're a high-level demon, you can possess other demons. That gives it like a 40% limitation, so it's just 60 points, right?
Yeah.
And this is generally how you should think of the abilities. Like the higher level an ability, the more limitation it has. So for example, Superman. Superman has all these powers, but the reason he has a lower point total, well, relatively, he still has probably thousands, but the reason he has such a low point is because most of them are based around the Earth's atmosphere. So if you were in a space campaign away from the Earth's atmosphere, he would that limitation would be higher. So like, I don't know, 40%. But if you were like, if this were a street level campaign where everything happens on Earth, that limitation would just be 0%.
Okay.
Does that?
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
Okay, so have we got everyone deciding who to play as?
Where
I
are
noticed
we
that-
looking at these builds?
I don't think my
These
character has any
builds?
armor on.
Sorry? So you generally wake up as prisoners with no armor, no nothing. Just
Oh, yeah,
for the
okay,
sake
that
of
was just
simplicity.
Okay.
And you will later find some, yeah.
Okay, I'm lost here.
Yeah.
Are we using pre-made characters?
Yes.
Where?
For today.
If you
Uh,
go into Roll20, up in the right corner is like different tabs. You go to the journal tab and there's
Okay,
It's
the
on their
journal
phone.
tab.
Not actually journal, in the... Actually, yeah,
it is
journal.
journal tab.
Yeah, it is
Sorry.
journal.
Okay.
I
And
gotta exit out of Steve to do that.
you can rename the characters if you want to.
I'm gonna do that.
And you probably should, because I can't pronounce half of that.
Edit.
Which is Fifi. The first one, I think. So...
Oh, do you want Fifi? You can use Fifi. I'll get somebody else. I want to be Steve, actually. Steve sounds like fun.
Okay, Des. What kind of character do you want to play as?
Do any of these characters have anything particular assigned to them?
Okay, so
I'm Eric Hoffer.
looking through the ones that have not been changed, that have not been picked, there is a sage who is a really wise man that does not have any magical abilities, but he has eidetic memory.
Photographic.
Sorry, I think
The sorcerer has ethnic memory.
Eidetic.
Eidetic memory.
eidetic.
Eidetic.
He also got imprisoned because not the sorcerer, the sage. The sage got imprisoned because he was framed for something, which is why he has an obsession to find out who framed him. He's also curious by nature, which means that he's the sort of person that the proverb "curiosity killed the cat" applies to. So,
Curiosity did kill the cat.
curiosity killed the cat.
But it also brought us all kinds of technology, so I'm happy for it.
Anyway, he also has a lot of skills. Most of them are not useful for combat, but he's a versatile character by nature. Kind of like a thief, only more mental.
Huh.
There's also a priest who also has abilities in medicine and esoteric medicine. Esoteric medicine and... yes, the thief is lecherous. I'm sorry, Harley.
That's like a negative 15 points, so that's a lot of points.
Yeah,
Also, it's fun. I like playing Lecherous.
it depends on how you play it. Like, if you play like an anime protagonist, it gets old really fast, but if you play like a suave dude, then it gets kind of cool. But, yeah, what other characters are there? Yeah, there's the priest, who is general nice
Who's
guy.
this guy? He's got Honor Pirates.
which one? Which one?
I think somebody else playing with her.
Oh.
That's a fighter, I think.
Did
Cool.
somebody else claim that one?
I'm playing Eric Leecher.
Oh, okay, that's you. But this one's the one that starts with an O.
Oh, Uchao.
Uh,
Yes,
this up.
he is a fighter.
Okay.
Yes, you can tell by in general he has strength and dexterity, both 14, which are both important. He is also ambidextrous, and he has code of honor pirates, which means that he does not accept being insulted, neither him nor his friends, and generally takes insults to his person and to his friends. He responds to them with usually violence.
Nice.
Uh-huh.
Yes.